Hey guys, Occasional Gamer here. Welcome back to another part of our hacking tutorial and website building tutorial. For those of you that have not watched any of the other episodes, we are in the process of creating a website. It's a very basic website that is simply going to be for a penetration testing environment. So later on, several series down the line, I'm going to be hacking into this website using a virtual environment and something called Kali Linux. And for those of you that haven't heard of that, it's like a penetration testing operating system, if you like. We are currently at this stage here. As you can see, we are halfway through the process of making a beautiful website. I spoke about some basic HTML, some basic PHP, some basic SQL scripting language, and we designed our database in the last episode. Today we are going to be looking at search bars. Search bars and something called SQL injection, which is what we're going to be looking at later on when we hack into something. SQL injection basically takes advantage of these search bars quite massively. It's basically your way into a website, to a vulnerable website, should I say. So we are currently here, and we best get started with chucking up a search bar on this page. So it's obviously going to be a very basic search bar. There's going to be no kind of it's not going to be nothing fancy. It's going to be an extremely simple search bar. Let's name our search bar search page. There we go. Yeah, that looks alright. Right. So again, if you haven't watched part 1 and 2, I do advise that you do, just so you know where we are. Again, this isn't an educational series, but I did briefly speak over some very basic HTML, PHP, and SQL inputs. But I am going to presume that if you are watching this video as well, you have an interest in hacking, and that is something that we're going to be doing later on. But first, I've obviously got to make the website that we need to hack. So let's call it div class search bar. So again, this div is a class. So I've got ID here, and as you can see, it highlights automatically. This here, between there and there, that contains all the information in here. And then the div class will contain the information in here. Div class, you might think, is it worth it? Do we need them? When you're making a website like this, not necessarily. Creating divs enables us to do this, to basically separate the content in your website. But when it becomes an application, when you've got hundreds of thousands lines of code, divs are absolutely, of course, yes, they are ideal and they need using. Most of all, for the fact that you can enclose a whole, thousands of lines of text at any point just by clicking a little arrow. So yeah, I certainly suggest using them. So we're going to say form action, and we'll leave that for a second. We're going to go in method. We're going to say get. So, for those of you that have never worked with databases before and websites, when you come to a form on any kind of website, you will find that you are presented with a login box, a username box, a password box, and then a button to submit it. When you submit it, it looks at what method it is. So the form action is what script it's going to run. So for example, search bar, we're going to have a page called, I don't know, search results.php. And on that page, which we'll create shortly, is going to be our actual information, which tells the search bar what it needs to do. At the minute, it's just an element. It's got no idea on what it needs to do. So we're going to say, so when you actually submit something, usually everything you will come across on the internet is post. So for example, the difference between post and get, in very, very brief, is that you would not use get if you ever wanted to create a form that was secure. So for example, a login form, you would never want to use a get method for that, because essentially if there was a hacker listening in, they would be able to see that information in plain text and it would be disastrous. Whereas search results, for example, you're simply requiring, you're getting a video from the server and it will pull it up and display it in front of your eyes. So again, like I've explained several times, it isn't an educational series. I could speak for ages on what it actually means in much more depth, but there's just no need. There's far too many videos that do that. But yeah, that's it in brief. So we're going to have to create an input type. And it's, of course, going to be text. But that does not say text. So it's going to have to be text. We're going to call it search. And then, so think of a search bar. And then it also has, it's going to be pretty long. So rather than have a tiny box, we'll say width of, say, 500 pixels. Might be too short. Who knows? Right, so as you can see, I've actually input a little bit of CSS in there. I'm styling it basically. This isn't usually recommended within the actual HTML page. It doesn't necessarily make a huge difference, but it's more for continuity. You'd usually create a separate style sheet like we've done over here. But like I say, as I'm not too fussed about the outcome of the website, I'm actually only using it for its foundations. I'm not going to get too hung up on that. So we're going to go submit value, and let's say search now. Yeah, something like that. So when we refresh our second page, which we will do now, we should have a text box, and that is a search bar. So think Google. It should be slightly longer than a usual one, and then we should also have a submit button next to it that says search now. Quapa. So there we go. Nothing too fancy. Extremely simple. Search now. Why is this error come up? Well, basically, like we said, when we click search now, it's going to go straight to the action, which is search results.php. Well, we haven't got a search results.php page, so the server is like, what the hell? Contact the webmaster, which is yourself in this case. Just briefly as well, because it's kind of annoying me a little bit. If we just put a completely random href tag and then just go back. Don't like that. So if you ever want white space, you put a BR, which is essentially a line break, and there you go. So you could put several if you wanted to. But again, no need, nothing too fancy, just enables to navigate the site a little bit better. So now we've created our search bar, we need to create a script. Where am I going? New file, and it's going to be called, what did we say? Search results.php. Take away the HTML. Boom. So what I'm going to do would, like we've done with the connection string, some people like to actually create, so if we open the home page, some people will be quite happy to create the connection in the actual page, if that makes sense. So whereas we're calling we're calling upon the connection here, include the connection, which is a separate file over here, which is what I just prefer doing. Some people would quite happily write the actual code in the HTML, and they would do that on every page. The benefit with this is, of course, I'd have to write it once and then write include scripts connection. So we've got our search results page. So what I've just explained that I don't usually do is something I'm actually going to be doing now. As crazy as that sounds. So you will see what I mean. So we've got our search results Oh, here we go. Look, I've just noticed as well. Form action, which will be on this page as well. Form action. If you notice here, our actual page is in the scripts page. So you'd write / scripts. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to find it. And we'll do the same here. / scripts. Why is there 2 /? Don't want that. There we go. So now we'll close the second page because we're done with that. So this is the page that's going to display when we click search. So when we click search now, it'll open the same page because you've just seen me copying all the same kind of stuff. So it will copy in the same page, except this time we're going to actually display the content as well. Where's that go back button? Just space that out. No, that didn't do nothing. Right. Okay, so we've got our include scripts connection. So first things first, we need to create a search variable. Okay, and we're gonna call it search, and we're gonna use our get, and we're going to say search. Okay, so sorry, I've actually finished a line before I actually carry on. That's why it's shown an error. There we go. I was wondering what that error was there. That's what it was. So we've got our search equals. So this is a variable. And a variable, imagine again, is like a container that contains this information. So we can call upon search whenever we like. And in reality, we're actually saying this. So it's getting whatever text is in this. So search equals get search. So for example, we called our text box search. So get search. It'll make sense in a minute. And then we need to create another variable called query. And this is where we actually type our query. And again, this is actually going to be some SQL. And we're going to say select all from items, which, there you go. So again, if you haven't watched the last video, that's what we did in the last video. There you go. So items. So when in English, when we click search, we want the database to select all from items. So items is our table, items, where item name is like, and then we chuck in some wildcards. So wildcards are essentially the percentage signs, and what they do, they're basically the like button. So wildcard is anything. So for example, if we type in A into Google, it will say select all from, I don't know, whatever database Google's got, where search results are like A, and then I don't know, everything beginning with A will pop up. Whoops. Yeah, so in short, that's what they are. It's kind of like typing anything. So in reality, if we type in, for example, H, just H into our search bar, it'll say select all from items where item name is like H, and it'll say, well, which of these are like H? And it should in reality only include hammer, because hammer's the only one with H in. If we had another 20 entries with H in, they would probably show up as well. Right, so again, I'm not using very good security here at all, so this is something that you may have to look into yourself if you're not sure, but I'm on purpose, I'm avoiding it. My plan here isn't to create a secure website. My plan here is to create a website to see how much I can destroy it, and then hopefully in a later video I'll be able to actually fix it, so I can say, right, we hacked into this, how can we prevent that from happening, and just kind of look. Those videos will hopefully be a lot more educational. And again, so we're creating a variable that says result. The result equals the query, include the connection. So con is a variable in our connection, and then query as well. So that's what the result means. So basically, it'll work out that, and it'll say, right, hammer, store hammer in the result until the guy tells us what to do with it. So that is typically it for an extremely basic search bar, right? So nothing's going to happen yet. Nothing fancy is going to happen yet. We actually need to now display those results. So it's got the results. It's stored them in this result variable. And now it's saying, okay, well, now what do we do? So we will create a... we don't need that. Let's go with PHP. So we need some PHP code here. And we need a while loop. So that's some very basic... a while loop is a very basic programming technique. It's one of the kind of first things you learn what a while loop is. It essentially says, while this result is true, then run what we're about to run. I'll explain it in a sec. Equals MySQLi. MySQLi fetch array. And then, what is our array? Well, our array is the result. Okay. And then we're going to say echo, which is a... so we're going to echo a table. I want to echo a table, so I don't even need that. I'm going to echo a table out. So even though you won't see this table, it displays in a table manner. So tr, and then again, and I'm gonna say my typing skills are terrible tonight. I don't know what's going on. And then we're gonna say td. Let's hope I get this right first time. Row, and then another. That should, and then we'll put a break because we're going to be putting another line under here. So we're essentially saying here, echo out a table with a heading, with the first heading is going to be row, and we're going to, so the first one's going to be item name, and then we're simply going to copy that, paste that, and then this time we're going to have item price, was it? Item price, there we go. Perfect. And then underneath that, we'll put a final echo with a TD tag. Right. Not a TD tag, a TR tag. Right then. So, just a quick run through. We're including our connection script. We are saying whatever... Basically, when search is clicked, work out, select all from items where item name is like the search. So, for example, H. And then when you have that, store it in a result variable. And then, while the result variable is true, so while it actually returns something back, then echo item name, item price, and it's going to also include the actual item name and item price, we hope. Okay, so let's give that a try now. Right, I'm being cautious. I'm trying to work out whether I've got that right or not, but let's work it out from the front page so it's refreshed. So if we say hammer. Oh, we got some holy shit, we got some scripts that failed to open scripts. Failed to open this. That isn't good. It's failed to open the connection stream. So let's go back. Let's refresh. Let's say hammer again. Boom. There we go. Oh, here we go. Look, so we've got some plain text TR there. Why is that there? There you go. That's why it's there. See, so again, not that I'm better than anybody else, but usually you don't tend to see people when you're following these guides. You don't tend to see that they make any errors. They just seem to get it right first time. And I'm no expert, but you definitely don't get it right first time every time. So that was simply a connection error saying why we can't find the connection that you're talking about. So I've included, if we go over to search results page here, which is, are we on that now? Yeah. So can we search again? No. Is it because of that? Right, okay, so just to check that works, we've done hammer, and then let's go wrench. Wrench 34, go back. So again, very basic. But why isn't my go screen? Oh yeah, because there you go. So similar to how my connection string just didn't work, you need to ensure that your file route is exactly precise. So even one of these directional, oh my goodness, one of the forward slashes needs to be exactly right if it's in the wrong position. So at the minute, by clicking, so we're currently on the search results page. If we click go back, it thinks we want to go to scripts homepage. Well, we haven't got a homepage in our scripts. We just have a homepage. So as you can see, where's go back? Homepage, there we go. It usually enables you to pop this up and click homepage, and it'll give you a precise route. So dash dot forward slash. So now we're on the search page. We'll actually be able to go back. So that was what was wrong with our connection. Just we had a slash in there, so it thought we wanted to go. We were already in here in the scripts, and it thought we wanted to go outside of it and look for a connection string file when we didn't. So a very, very basic search bar has now been created, and it's allowing us to input these type of things. So wooden chair, computer chair, there you go. So just by typing chair, it returns 2 results. It looks pretty terrible. Can we put another break in? Let's find out. Just play around with it. What happened there? There we go. Yeah, it's all right. If we wanted the 100 to appear here, say, we'd take these breaks out where they are. We'd change them around a little bit. But that's fine. I'm happy with that. The reason I've done this, and the reason I don't care for it, is that later on, from this search bar, just by inputs and something known as SQL injection, we're going to be able to draw upon not just everything in here, like how much is in stock, for example, and what the item ID is, but more dangerously, we'll be able to draw upon this. So you've just seen me make that, and you know how nothing on this script here has anything to do with this specific table. Because we're asking it to select all from items, you know, we're not asking it to select all from users. But later on, through our pen testing technique, we'll actually be able to go through there, and on here, hopefully on this page, it will actually display everything in here, which is pretty scary, but it's actually something that major websites still fall trap of now. So it's definitely worth looking at, and then hopefully we can also work out how we can prevent it from happening, so we'll be able to try and stop ourselves from hacking into it. The search bar is going to be it, so it's going to be a pretty short video for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next time.